Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Andre Butler. This is actually my first talk. Wanted to kind of go through my coding journey so far, kind of what that looks like, how far I've come, and just kind of a couple of things I've uncovered throughout my journey. But a little bit about me. My background is traditionally in sales, particularly the hospitality industry. Brand new to coding. Started coding back in August, really as a hobby. Kind of picked it up on the side while I was in graduate school. Kind of found coding to be a passion of mine and something that really kind of allowed me to create and kind of flourish on my creative side. And it was also really something that motivated me to get out of kind of the minutia of my sales job. Really kind of the up and down, and allowed me to just kind of explore other avenues that I was passionate about. Kind of picked that up in September. I attended my first meetup in September. When I started attending the free code camp meetings, I really kind of felt a sense of community, which was something that kind of attracted me to it. From there, I started to really put the pedal to the metal around October, and that kind of consisted of being a little bit more committed, kind of practicing coding on a daily basis, listening to the Free Code Camp podcast. Through those, I kind of uncovered a lot more resources, and really, since coding is something that I'm teaching to myself, I had to kind of conceive my own learning curriculum, and part of that consisted of sifting through what was important or what was relevant to my end goal, and what was kind of redundancy work, if you will. But kind of transition from that to developing my own portfolio and kind of studying the Free Code Camp podcasts and the tutorials. I wanted to kind of discuss with you guys what a typical day looks like for me. So typically, after I kind of get done with my 9 to 5, I start practicing my coding, typically about 7 o'clock. It's a little bit later in the day, but I try to devote at least an hour to the coding lessons a day. To me, it's a little bit like muscle, kind of working a muscle. The more often that you use it, the more acclimated that you get. The languages will start to come to you like second nature, especially kind of the formatting of it. From there, I start to review my previous lessons to just kind of give myself a refresher course. Another thing that's really kind of helped me in my journey, especially being so new, is the Free Code Camp forums. You really kind of learn a lot of the language, and you're able to help other people who are kind of hitting roadblocks. And there is a lot of little nuggets within those forums. Also, the networking meetings. They've been really valuable to me. Kind of allow me to uncover more resources and build like a robust learning curriculum on my own. Another thing that I've used is the mobile applications. So in addition to Free Code Camp, which has kind of been the core of my coding education, I've supplemented that with Solo Learn, Udemy, and a couple other things like Free Front End Mentor. Those have really kind of helped me not get stuck in just doing tutorials, but kind of looking at other resources to kind of plug the gaps, if you will. Another thing that a mantra of mine that I practice since coding is so new to me is that learning is a process. It's not really a means to an ends. So there are times when I'm going through kind of my coding tutorials and I'm just thinking, just get it done, just get it done, just get it done. But in reality, it's a process. It's got to marinate. I've got to pick it up where I left off and kind of keep going from there. Another thing that is a mantra of mine is remembering why I started coding in the first place. And personally, to me, if your why is strong enough, it will kind of guide what you do. And by that, kind of what lessons that you look up, how committed you are to coding, and I think it will yield much better results. Couple of the kind of web development components that I'm learning are kind of aspects. So far, I've really gotten acclimated with HTML, CSS, and Java. And keep in mind, I just started really kind of committing to this back in October, so in about 2 months' time. But I wanted to kind of hop out of this and just show a really quick kind of sample of what I put together within the last month. It's really, really basic, but it's one of the survey projects on Free Code Camp. It was initially a survey that was based upon Free Code Camp. So this is kind of what the lesson looked like initially, kind of building a survey form and kind of making use of input in kind of text fields. Don't be afraid to kind of spin it and make it your own. So that's one thing that I did, and my creativity kind of flourished. I made a burger survey, but kind of the takeaway from it is the components are there, but don't be afraid to kind of put your own kind of flavor on it, because personally I learned a lot more, and I kind of made it unique to Oklahoma City. So if anyone's looking for a burger survey template, I've got one for you. And kind of flipping back to the presentation, keeping it really short, but in a nutshell, kind of just routinely practicing is kind of a takeaway that I've got. Going to the networking meetings and really kind of getting your feet wet with what's out there and what's available. But again, it's just kind of consistency and commitment. Anybody have any questions?